All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, March Madness 2021 style has been all that and then some, as upsets are reigning supreme in this year's NCAA tournament. We saw in the first round, the 2-seed Ohio State fell to the 15-seed Oral Roberts. Last night, we saw the 3-seed in Texas fall to the 14-seed Abilene Christian. We saw a 4-seed in Purdue, who was upset by the 13-seed North Texas in their region. The 6-seeded San Diego State was blown out by the 11-seed Syracuse in their region. And, of course, we saw the 11-seed Syracuse today get the best of the 3-seed in West Virginia. Now, the number 1 seed in their division, or their region rather, the Fighting Illini of Illinois, they lost to the 8-seed Illinois Chicago. We also saw the 12-seed Oregon State knock out Tennessee, who was a 5th seed in their region, in the first round. And then, of course, we also saw a 4-seed in Virginia get knocked out by the Bobcats of Ohio, who were a 13 seed. Now, you look at this tournament so far, and, we've seen the struggles of both the Big Ten and the ACC, especially the Big Ten, because you look at Illinois, Purdue, and Ohio State getting bumped out so early. All three of these teams, for a lot of people, really felt that they could make some Final Four runs this year. And pick your poison. Like, who was the bigger upset? I mean, definitely Ohio State going down to Oral Roberts. For Illinois, it was an upset that they lost to Illinois Chicago. Don't get me wrong, but let's not forget, this Illinois Chicago club under Porter Moser, they did get to the Final Four a couple of years ago. They play a very disciplined brand of basketball at each end of the court. They are a very cohesive unit, and they got the best of the Illini today, in spite of the fact that the Illini were one of the better teams in the nation this season. I think for the Big Ten, the upsets are definitely there, because you look at it, the Big Ten really did have some of a home court advantage, just due to the fact that this tournament is taking place in their back door in the state of Indiana. A lot of these courts that are being used right now, there's plenty of familiarity from the Big Ten clubs from playing there, for whether they're playing the Indiana Hoosiers or they're playing in respective tournaments, including the Big Ten tournament, which is sometimes held in Indianapolis. And, they just could not get it done. It just shows you once again, on any given day, in a win or go home format like this NCAA tournament, the good teams can get got by the underdogs. And we're seeing it once again. Now, surprisingly so far, you look at the success of the Pac-12 in this tournament. Oregon, of course, they advanced due to a non-contested game, due to several positive tests from VCU. We saw Colorado blow out a very hot Georgetown team. Remember, Georgetown needed to win the Big East tournament to get into the field of 68. Georgetown was able to do that, but Colorado really handled the Hoyas in a 96-73 victory yesterday. Oregon State, we already talked about them blowing out Tennessee, as they are getting ready to face the Oklahoma State Cowboys with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. USC, they were able to hold off a very hot Drake team. And then you look at UCLA, they were down big in their playing game versus Michigan State, came back and won that game. And then they had their way with BYU last night. And now, if you're the Bruins, you got an opportunity to get to the Sweet 16 if you can get past Abilene Christian. So UCLA can definitely not look past them. But overall, you just look at it, because for the past couple of years, the Pac-12 has been so forgotten, because, either they've only been able to get like one or two teams in the tournament. And for those couple of teams that got into the tournament, they really weren't able to make a lot of noise. And you look at it with all of the power conferences that are out there right now, the Big East, the ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and Pac-12. Really, it's only been the Pac-12 that has not been able to produce multiple teams in the Final Four, and it's hard to really fathom that. But that has been the case for the Pac-12 for some time now. So maybe this is the year where the Pac-12 can rise up and really make some noise in this dance. We've also seen this vaunted 2-3 zone of Syracuse reigning supreme. And I know that a lot of people were questioning Syracuse getting into the field of 68 without having to play into a play-in game. Some people were actually questioning Syracuse getting in the tournament altogether. But, at the end of the day, they are definitely making the most of this opportunity. We're looking at the scoring ability of Buddy Boeheim. Of course, he is the son of Syracuse head basketball coach Jim Boeheim, but also this 2-3 zone. And if you study this zone over the years, it's one of those, it's at its best when you have length on both the front court and back court, which is something that the Cuse has right now. But more importantly, if you are unaccustomed to seeing this zone, it can really throw you off. We saw that happen versus San Diego State. We saw it happen again today versus West Virginia because a lot of teams don't play it out there. That's first and foremost. Now, Bob Huggins, the head coach of West Virginia, definitely has some familiarity in regards to seeing the zone because, of course, for so many years, both Syracuse and West Virginia were in the Big East, competing against each other. But now, if you're not a good perimeter shooting team and, neither San Diego State and West Virginia are, this zone can really throw things off for you. And that was the case. And that is a big reason why Syracuse is once again in the Sweet 16. You look at this tournament so far and you have to ask yourself, is this the year of the underdog? And honestly, I said coming into this tournament, I really thought it was going to be wide open. And, so far, I have not been disappointed. Ohio, they are a 13 seed. They have a legit chance to get past Creighton and get to that Sweet 16. You look at this East region, Michigan cannot overlook LSU in their second round matchup. Make no mistake about it. You're going to have at least one double-digit seed getting to the round of 16 out of the East. Of course, UCLA takes on Abilene Christian. But, you look at it, Maryland versus Alabama at the bottom of that East region as well. Baylor was able to take care of their business. Now, a lot of people didn't expect Villanova to get past Winthrop. They did, but they're still going to have their hands full versus North Texas tonight. North Texas, of course, the 13 seed in that region. Oral Roberts right now is giving Florida all that they can handle. Oregon State has a legit shot versus Oklahoma State. We've already seen Syracuse advance in that region as well. And Rutgers, as we speak, they're currently up in the second half versus Houston. So this definitely is the year of the underdog. And for my thought process, it comes down to this. With the exception of Baylor, Gonzaga, Michigan, and probably Illinois, a lot of teams, there wasn't that much separation for those teams. And you look at it, of course, the Illini are on their way home. But you look at it, there really wasn't like too many teams that really stood out above the rest. I still think, Baylor and Gonzaga are the class of this tournament right now. Of course, Baylor has already advanced to the Sweet 16. Gonzaga is definitely going to look to do the same as well. But you look at it right now, a lot of these teams, there really isn't that much that separates them. So, it really shouldn't be that much of a shock to see so many upsets this year. But you know what? That's what it boils down to. I think there are still going to be plenty of upsets right now in this tournament. Rutgers is looking good early on in the second half versus Houston. Oral Roberts has a legit shot in the second half of their contest versus Florida. But this is what it all comes down to. This is truly March Madness. And it's not just about, separating the pretenders from the contenders in the opening round of the tournament. These teams who are the lower seeds are legit. And I said coming into this tournament, it really would not surprise me to see a double-digit team get to the Final Four. It would not surprise me to see a double-digit team cutting down the nets at the end of this tournament. And right now, there are plenty of double-digit seeds in this tournament that are alive and well. They're not playing with house money. These are legit teams that can go out there and get the job done. So you can't write them off. You can't overlook them. And I think there is going to be plenty more excitement coming for the remainder of the second round and, of course, the remainder of this tournament. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you subscribers out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.